I'm going to show you how to make a fleece bath mat. So what you're going to need is at least 2 of these, okay, these type of blankets which you can buy at any department store. And whatever colors you want. It's actually a lot cheaper to buy these than it is to go to the fabric store and get the material. And this size is 50 inches by 60 inches, okay? So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your blanket and you're going to cut all these ends off. Okay, so what you got is a very flat piece here, and I already cut it. And then you're going to fold it in half, which will speed up your cutting, and fold it in the longest part. You're going to fold that part in half. So you actually got the shortest ends folded across, and that would be the 50 inch instead of the 60 inch. So the very first thing you're going to do is you're going to measure 2 inches across, which I did here. And this is going to be your marker for cutting the rest of the strips. So I have a pair of electric scissors, which makes it a lot easier. And I'm just going to cut my very first strip. As you can see right here. It doesn't have to be perfect, you know, because we're going to fold these over and you're not even going to see the rough edging. So once your first piece is cut, you're going to fold that over. You're going to pin it with some straight pins. And that will be your marker for your next one. And you're going to go all the way across. And once you do this color, then you're going to do the other color that you're going to use your blanket with. So now I finished cutting all my strips out, 2 inches wide. I wound up coming up with 24 strips. And my last ones on both of them were a little wider, so I just left them because I'm not going to cut them 2 inches because I'm going to use them for my binding when I'm finished. So now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to sew the strips together. Now if you find one side you prefer to have on the outside, you're going to sew it. So what I do is I just slip it into a machine. I use any kind of thread, and then I start doing it like this. So I have my finger, my thumb underneath here, and I'm guiding it through. Just to the edge of your presser foot here, and you just go down and you just guide it through. My finger, I'm going down. And let the machine do it. I've set my presser foot on a lighter, and it's just a straight stitch all the way down. Okay, so just watch it as you're going down. Stretch a bit. That's why your finger's down at the bottom. And you're going to do this with all both colors. You're going to feed it through. I don't even bother pinning it. I just watch it and I make sure it's folded in half evenly. Just like this. When I get to the end, I put on my next piece. So it's a continuous flow. As you can see, I'll fold this in half, and I'll go a little bit, and I'll lift up the presser foot, and add this one. Till I get them all done. Now after you get all your strips sewn, like I did here, then you're going to start turning them right side out. So what I do is I put a pin on the end and just slip it through the hole and start pushing it through. Okay, till I get them all turned right side out, and just feed it through like this. And it doesn't really take that long. Once you get it through, you push it through, and then you'll have a whole bunch of them like this. Okay, so now that I got all my strips turned right side out, I braided the first one. All I did was stick a safety pin at the top, did a nice loose braid, and I'm going to show you, you can do it any color you want, And then I pinned the next 3 strips. So now I'm going to start braiding this one into that one. So I'm going to put them in all these side loops here. So the very first one I'm going to go in and pull it through like so. Then I'm going to go cross, cross, then take the back one and put it through the loop here. Okay, pull it through, then I go cross, cross, pull this one from the back to the next loop into the front. And then I go cross, cross. So what I'm doing is I'm braiding one braid into the next braid. Cross, cross. Okay, pause. Okay, so I put my second braid in, and as you can see, I braided it inside the blue braid. And sometimes when you get to the end, you might have to adjust the tension just so that you get right to the very end. As you can see, I had to give it a little tug. Now, if you get too much length, pull it back and sort of fit it in. So you covered every loop. So now I'm going to put in my next one. So there's that first loop. So I'm going to start a little bit of a braid because it seems to be a little further down. And always put it in the loop, like so. Pull it through. Then you go, okay, so there you go. You go cross, cross, and then you go into the next loop. Okay, then you go cross, cross, and into the next loop. So it looks pretty loose right now, but as you carry on, it'll get tighter. And then you're working with the next one. Okay, so fill in all the loops as you go down, and that's how you braid inside each braid. So now my rug is completed. I braided it all, okay? And with the very last braid, I made it a little bit tighter because you want the edging to be, you know, tight, not loose. As you can see, I weaved it in and out. There was no sewing involved. So remember when I first cut them out, I had 2 extra pieces that were a little bit wider than the 2-inch strip. So these are going to be my binding. So I took 1 strip and I cut it in half. I can use the white if I want a white edging or blue. And now I'm going to pin it on the edging here. Alright, so what I did is I stitched it along here, okay? Now when you did do the stitching, make sure if you keep the pins in, because it just opens up the braid. If you have to remove some as you're stitching, well, so be it. So now I'm going to remove all the pins and I'm going to trim it, okay? Trim all these ends off. Then I'm going to fold it over, tuck it under, and then I'm going to hand stitch it on the other side just to make sure it goes straight. As you can see, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to just snip these off and tuck it over and tuck the sides in. So as you can see, I trimmed off all my edging, and now I'm ready to fold it over like so, tuck it on the other side, and it's just easier for me to hand stitch it, and I'm almost done. So this is the completed bath mat. I hand sewed the trim along the edging there. As you can see, it's a nice addition to my bathroom. The material, I bought 2 fleece blankets, which cost me $5 each. So the total cost was $10. And as you can see, it looks really sharp. So